So some people may have objections because a lot of people don't like synthetic molecules.
Hmm.
They like what's produced by nature. And what do you say to that? Like
Well,
how
first, yeah, first, this is a naturally occurring molecule, right? So
okay.
if you take a candle flame and you collect the soot from a candle flame, and the way you usually do that is you take a cold steel plate, have it over the candle flame, and you collect that black soot on that plate of steel. That
Hmm.
black soot has parts per million or parts per billion of the ESS60 molecule, right? So it is a naturally occurring molecule. Then we get into the debate of like, is it a synthetic hormone versus a real hormone? Like that's where people go automatically. But this molecule is so simple that there is no other iteration, right? The challenge in biology and organic chemistry specifically is to have a right-handed or a left-handed molecule, right? It can be the same exact chemical equation, but if it's right-handed or left-handed, it actually interacts differently with the chemicals around it, with your body. This doesn't have that. This is literally 60 carbon atoms in the shape of a soccer ball. And so a natural, you could literally put a pile of natural molecules and a pile of synthetic molecules next to each other, and you cannot tell the difference because there is no difference. And so it's a naturally occurring molecule. And we, of course, we put it in oils, and we put it in, organic. Our preferred, the recommended one is organic extra virgin olive oil, and so that's what we dissolve it in.
Okay. So on rats, it has shown almost doubling the lifespan, which is, astounding. But what have we seen in people?
Yeah. So let me start on the first one because I think our most consistent testimonial. Again, people take it in the morning, mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night. I'm not aware, and maybe you are, and if you are, please share because I'm trying to kind of accumulate this data of things that you can do in the morning. I'm aware of a couple things you can do in the morning to positively impact sleep. I'm not aware of things that you can take in the morning to positively impact that sleep that night. So if you exercise in the morning, you will sleep better that night. Like that's understood. If you wake up and get exposure to the sun, you'll get your circadian rhythm in line with the rising and falling of the sun, provided you go to sleep at a reasonable time. It'll help you sleep that night. But to take something in the morning and positively impact your sleep is pretty amazing. Think of it this way. There's a book by Dr. Matthew Walker called Why We Sleep. Amazing book. I don't know if you've read it. If you haven't, you might not want to. I call it the Freddy Krueger of sleep books, right? Freddy Krueger from the Nightmare on Elm Street. Except Freddy Krueger woke you up, right? Because he terrified you in your dreams, and then he followed you. I guess that's a spoiler alert. um, in this case, this book will scare you to sleep because he outlines 25 years of research of the detrimental things that happen to us when you don't get enough sleep or when your sleep is just skewed, right? If you're getting to sleep later or you're getting interrupted in the middle of the evening or you're waking up earlier, it actually has different impacts on the type of sleep that you're getting. And he talks about the $2 billion sleep aid industry, right? These are these prescription drugs that you take to go to sleep. And the way he describes it is these are depressants, right? What they do, there's a thing called a chemical called adenosine. And as it builds up in our bodies throughout the day, it's actually related to ATP, interesting. As it builds up in our body throughout the day, it causes us to desire sleep. And these prescription sleep aids relax the chemical pressure of adenosine. So you wake up without the desire for sleep. And I can imagine like that would be an amazingly refreshing experience if you woke up 10 days in a row and all you wanted to do was sleep more. And then you take this pill and you wake up and you don't want to sleep. You think you got a good night's sleep. The problem is, and this is Dr. Matthew Walker, it's a depressant. It negatively impacts the REM and NREM sleep that you get. So you're not getting the healing and restorative sleep that you actually need. And I tell that story because it's in direct contrast to our product, so you don't take it at night, which is when you take the prescription medications. You take it in the morning, and then it positively impacts your sleep that night. So that's one of the ones, and I'll share this is a kind of fun, embarrassing testimonial. Um, I used to take 2 naps before noon on Saturdays and Sundays. Of course, if my family was doing anything, then we would go do that, and I wouldn't take a nap. But it worked out this way. I have twins. When they were much younger, because they're 13 now. When they were much younger, I would wake up in the morning. They would sit literally on top of me and we would watch cartoons. Well, they would watch cartoons. I would take my first nap. Then we would have breakfast, go downstairs, have breakfast, come back, resume the position, and I would take nap number 2. And this was every Saturday and Sunday, unless we were out doing something. When I started taking our formula on a regular basis, we got in that position. They're 13 now, so that doesn't happen anymore. But we got in that position, and I just wouldn't sleep, and so I got up and did stuff. Right, so that's a positive impact on energy, focus, and energy. And then it's also because I was sleeping well.
So you're supposed to take in the morning. You don't take it at night?
Yeah, yeah, and there's a caveat to that. A small percentage of our customers say if they take it later in the day, it'll keep them up. That focus and energy will keep them up. I think what's going on is they have the mental, their minds, I won't say racing because that has a negative, their mind's working at full speed, right? If they put their head on the pillow, they'd actually go out. But their mindset is, my mind's racing, I shouldn't go to sleep, right? So I think that's what's going on. We even have a small number of people, if they take a typical serving is 5 mils or 1 teaspoon. We have a small number of people who say if they take it in the morning, a full 5 mils or 1 teaspoon, that it will interrupt their sleep that night. So it doesn't apply to me. And I think it's, like I said, 2 to 3% of our customers. So we just tend to recommend it in the morning. I can also say it has a positive impact on how alcohol negatively impacts your sleep, right? So you have a couple of drinks and your sleep profile, if you've got an Oura ring, I don't have mine on, but if you've got an Oura ring or a Whoop, like it's demonstrable what alcohol does, how it negatively impacts your sleep. If you've had a couple of drinks, to take it at night, I find that it counterbalances. So one, I haven't had a hangover in a long time. I'm not out trying every night. That's not my style, but certainly I've been at a conference in Vegas and was very glad not to have a hangover the following day because of the product. So if you're having alcohol as a depressant, then I take extra and it mitigates whatever impact that has.